funders that want to apply for EU funding, that's something quite similar. Like, don't actually focus only on the results. So a lot of time we talk about funding, but I think funding is just a consequence. It's not really the first thing. It's a consequence of something that has been done well. So focus on the outside world and not only on the inside world, and also find others that can take you there or that can go there with you.
Sound of Startups podcast is hosted by Taj, produced by Amplitude Ventures, your partner in early stage startups.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Sound of Startup. Today, I have someone who is from Italy, and they specialize in something called EU funding. She has a very good understanding on how to think, write, create, lie, and execute, and most importantly, report back on how on your application of for the EU funding. They majorly deal with broader creative industries, which include art, cinema, film, technology, and everything that broadly qualifies under the creative industries, and much beyond that. They have done wonderful projects. Her name is Ludovica. The company name is Flumi, and they're based in Italy. And they have done some of the very fantastic work when it comes to funding in the broader European ecosystem. They have a deep understanding of that. And that is the reason recently when I met her in Barcelona in the Sonardi, and we had a wonderful conversation. I thought, okay, maybe we should just have this conversation on the podcast so that our broader audience can get it. So with the long introduction, let me welcome to my guest for the day, Ludovica. Hello, Ludovica. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Taj. Thanks a lot for having me, and thanks for the kind introduction.
Oh yeah, wonderful. So let's begin with you. Who are you, and how did you ended up what you do, and what does your company Flumi does?
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, as you said, I started my career working in EU funded projects, both in education, social impact, and culture and creativity. So I started from there working also in cultural organization, university, artistic residencies, to then decide to take the step and work first on my own, and then found Flumi, which is a studio, a creative studio and a cultural association. So with Flumi, actually, we do two things. So with the studio, we both support cultural and creative industry and organization with strategy, partnership, and actually international development. So EU funding, EU projects. And also we help organization outside the cultural sector to bring more creativity, participation, and actually meaningful storytelling within their work. So this is what we do with the studio. And then, of course, we have an association because we value a lot the community. So we build a community where we create safe spaces for exchange and experiment with ideas that matter to us at the crossing of art, science, and technology. So right now, Flumi is not about me anymore. We are a team, actually. We do different things. So we work on EU project, we work on partnership and international cooperation, but we also do other things. In fact, we have a creative studio where we do both international cooperation project and support and training on that. But we also bring creativity to other sectors where actually creativity is needed.
Makes sense. Okay. One keyword I picked up from what you said is policy writing. What is let's explain how does it work and what it is. What do you mean by policy writing?
Okay, so basically, a lot of time when we want to apply for funding for an international project and so on, we think a lot about our idea, no, our project, our yeah. But actually, that's only one part. The thing is that the EU has its policy agenda, its priorities, its agenda, its political agenda that normally works on a 7-year framework. Our idea, which is based on what we would like to do, with the policy agenda of the European Union. This is fundamental in order to be able to attract the funding, because the EU doesn't fund great ideas, of course they do, but they fund great ideas that are aligned with the objective they aim to reach.
Got it. That makes sense. So one of the another keywords that you use in discussion is partnerships. So what is the base? How do you define a partnership in general? And whenever somebody, as an entrepreneur, is thinking that they need to create something, how is it that partnership plays an important role for them in the growth?
Okay, yeah. Something that we need to say is that not always collaboration is easy, and not always everybody's willing to collaborate, and that's okay. But yeah, what is very important in a collaboration, okay, I will speak first in the EU sense, so when you build a consortium, and then also in other senses when you work with others. So first of all, what is very important is complementarity. So the best partnership actually bring together different expertise, not only same skills. So this is very important in order to be also awarded the grant. In the sense, being able to bring somebody that is really strong on the communication side, somebody else that is more stronger on the business development side, for example, on the research dimension. So complementarity is fundamental. Other things that are very important, even more than that, it's shared vision and values for sure. And also, yeah, of course, the other things relate also to the private partnerships. So mutual listening. So good partnership are built through curiosity and openness. Also because when you build a new project, basically the thing is that the project is shared. So it's not a solo work, it's an orchestra. So basically you should be able to play all together, both in the project design side, so when you're building the project, as well as the implementation part, so when you're actually implementing the project. Then there is also one very important element, that is the personal component. So of course, the key is also finding the right person within an organization. So somebody that is open to collaborate and genuinely willing to build something together, no? So sometimes we talk about organization, but at the end of the day, we talk about people.
Okay. So let me ask you this with that question, another extended one. What should entrepreneurs and startup founders should keep in mind when they are forming partnerships?
Okay, so when we talk about entrepreneurs, sometimes we see, especially when we work outside of the cultural sector, like the fear to collaborate, as the fear of losing, ownership on the project they have. But actually, instead, collaboration, if done with the right partners, can bring you way forward, because they can open you to new audiences, new countries where to experiment, also new ways of doing things, and also imagine an international project, whether it's built within an EU funded project or a private consortium for other reasons. You can learn a lot from one another, and especially if it was a team where you have your own team, you can actually get really better, because at the end of the day, each organization is good at something, but maybe not that good at something else.
Okay, let me take a level more deeper. How should one find the right kind of partnership? What is an alignment? See, obviously, I like you, you like me, and then we work together. That is the one traditional way of it. And then the second is values, that our values match. And third is basically our work ethics match. But at a more strategic level, at a more multiplier effect level, what are the things one should say that this is what a good partnership looks like? How does it work?
So a good partnership is a partnership that you can rely on. So the thing is, it means that, of course, we can say a good partnership is a partnership where I have a strong communication partner, a strong admin partner, management partner, and a strong research and development partner, for example, right? And then they would be even stronger for an EU project if they are based in three very different countries. So, for example, a northern country, a southern country, and an eastern country, just to make an example. Finally, it would be also very interesting if the organization, for example, have different expertise, like also in terms of how many years they've been in the market. So, for example, one that is very established and one newcomer, and one that is in the middle, in the sense that in this way, like the newcomer can learn from the one that has been in the market for more time, but at the same time, the one that has been in the sector for more time can have some fresh ideas from the one that just entered in the sector, right? And finally, like in terms of size, so a micro organization with, for example, a medium or a big organization. So this is actually how a good partnership would be for the EU landscape and projects. But at the end, why I put a lot of emphasis actually on the fact of being aligned, on similar ways of approaching things. Similar ways doesn't mean similar ways of doing things, but similar vision, manners of seeing life in some sense. Because a lot of time, even if on paper the partnership looks amazing, it can turn out to be a very wrong partnership if actually the people don't work well together, as said, no? Because you're bound for a long time. So that's why I put a lot of emphasis also on the alignment and so on, and not only on the hard part, because sometimes it's the most important thing actually. But yeah, I agree that it's also important to say like the definition of what is valued actually in terms of partnership.
Now, a couple of more questions on, can you just give a very high level overview that what are the different creative industries in which at EU fundings are made available for entrepreneurs at a very high level? For example, for music, for cinema, like this way, just a broadly, so that our audience can gauge that if there is some startup from our category,
Yeah.
they at least know that, okay, this is the sectors which they're available at.
Okay. No, I mean, all sectors are funded by EU funded, whether it's about heritage, it is about music, it's about performing arts, photography, visual arts, digital arts. Like it's covered, like the program that covers it, it's called Creative Europe, that is dedicated really to the creative and cultural industry and sector. So all of them, some branches are dedicated more, for example, to media, other more to culture in general, other are transsectorial, but anyway, like all the different sectors are funded. But then actually for those that work in the cultural sector, I mean, Creative Europe is not the only program possible, and actually it shouldn't be the only possible program. For example, culture and creativity can enter in a lot of other sectors, one of which, for example, is education, with the program that is Erasmus Plus, for example, that is more for educational project. And finally, culture can enter also in research. And it's very important, especially. So, for example, the program called Horizon, that is a very big program dedicated more to the research dimension, is also a program where creative and cultural sector can actually enter. And also creative startups, for example, can enter.
Okay, fantastic. One question is, can you just give a very high level run through of different kind of EU funding projects that you guys have done as a Flumi? How did you do and what do you do?
So we have been working with quite a lot of projects, like in the last few years, mainly at the crossing of art, science, and technology. For example, once the project was funded, we helped them out with the technicalities, let's say, or more intricacies of the delivery of, for example, of the output of the project, so in the way that the EU looked for, and then also with the closing of the project and with the multiplying of the project, so the dissemination of the project. So some of the projects we've worked on has been one Erasmus Plus project, for example, so educational project in this sense about teaching and care. We have worked on a Creative Europe project that was more about sustainability and how to reflect on sustainable food chain systems between artists and farmers. We've been working on a project related to coding and open source through visuals and music. Would work on a project related to music and how to foster a more diverse music ecosystem, for example. Um, how to, push forward the next generation of emerging artists. So yeah, as you see, all of them have something that connects and something that is very different. Also because when you work in EU projects, like there are some priorities, let's say, that should always be there, which are of course sustainability, gender diversity and equality. What is very important is that these priorities are there. They could be there whether they could be there as an objective of the project. So having a more sustainable society. I'm saying it very broad. Of course, the objective needs to be more narrowed down. Or they can have another objective, but sustainability, for example, should always be there. So there should be a structure for it. That's why even very different projects we worked on have some, fil rouge or like something that connects to the other.
What is your advice for young entrepreneurs if they are thinking the future and applying for and funding the EU program? What is your piece of advice, or you can say what are the things that most of the people get it wrong and they apply that?
Yeah, I would like to say something like both in terms of EU funds for sure. So I would say search for good co-founders and team members. I think this one is, and this can be also applied to EU funding, like the partnership is the core. So find good team members. I think that there is kind of a beautiful magic thing that happens when actually different minds with different knowledge and expertise and background come together and work together. Because at the end of the day, you cannot be good in everything, and that's the point. So finding good people, like people that you want to work with and that are aligned and also have the desire to go towards the same direction with different skills, that's the key. So also talking about funders that want to apply for EU funding, that's something quite similar. Like, don't actually focus only on the results. So a lot of time we talk about funding, but I think funding is just a consequence. It's not really the first thing. It's a consequence of something that has been done well. Focus on the outside world and not only on the inside world, and also find others that can take you there or that can go there with you. And I would also say ask for help at the beginning and start small, in the sense ask for help, connect with others, because you don't start with a big project in the first year. So that's the other thing. So start small, do it with others, and keep yourself updated with the new policy agenda.
I think this is thank you so much, Ludovica. This is fantastic. We got to learn a lot on how the EU funding works, how the all partnership is important, how working together, how being strategic, and how being cooperative, and how one should see and approach its funding towards the EU funding side. So I think it was so much good to talk to you. We learned a lot, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Taj. It's a pleasure as for me as well, and see you very soon also. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. That's it for this week. And I hope you'll see you next week with the new guest. Till then, goodbye.